Good morning, students. Today we will be talking about current electricity, where we will be dealing with electric charges in motion, and the branch of physics dealing with electric charges in motion, that is called current electricity. Under current electricity, today we are going to do Kirchhoff's laws, Wheatstone bridge, and meter bridge. First of all, let us talk about Kirchhoff's laws. There are two Kirchhoff's laws. Kirchhoff's first law is also called as current law, or it is also called as junction rule. Now, as per Kirchhoff's first law, the algebraic sum of currents at a junction in any electrical network is always zero. Junction is the meeting point of all the currents in any electrical network. So summation of all the currents at a junction is zero. That is summation I at the junction, it is equal to zero. Now to follow, to obey Kirchhoff's first law, we need some signs and conventions. Now first sign and convention which we will be using, the incoming current, that is current moving towards the junction, that is taken as positive, and the current that's outgoing, that is current going away from the junction, that will be taken as negative. Now there are five currents shown to you in the figure, that is I1, I2, I3, I4 and I5. Out of these five currents, current I1 and I4, it is going towards the junction, and I2, I3 and I5, they are going away from the junction. Now as per summation I at junction, it is equal to 0. So I should write I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4 plus I5 equal to 0. But when we will be using signs and conventions, so it is like this. I1 that is coming towards the junction will be taken as positive, plus minus of I2 as per signs and convention. I2 is moving away from the junction, plus minus I3. I3 is the current moving away from the junction. That's why minus I3, plus I4. I4 is the current going towards the junction with positive sign, plus minus I5. I5 is the current away from the junction. This summation of current at the junction is 0. So plus minus is minus. So it has been mentioned here I1 minus I2 minus I3 plus I4 minus I5 is equal to 0. Now this another important thing to add on in this Kirchhoff's first law, that it obeys law of conservation of charge. How? As per law of conservation of charge, charge is neither created nor destroyed. Only it can be transferred from one body to another. Here, no charge accumulation takes place at the junction. Whatever is the charge flowing per unit time towards the junction, the same amount of charge will be flowing away from the junction per unit time. Yani whatever current is coming towards the junction, the same amount of current will be leaving the junction. So this Kirchhoff law is as per law of conservation of charge. That is, no charge accumulation takes place at the junction. Whatever charge is coming towards the junction per unit time, same amount of charge will be leaving the junction per unit time. This is your Kirchhoff's first law. Then second Kirchhoff's law is voltage law. It is also known as loop rule. Now, as per this Kirchhoff's second law, the statement is the algebraic sum of all the potential drops and EMFs along any closed path in an electrical network is always zero. Yani as per this statement, This statement in mathematical form can be written as summation E plus summation IR, it is equal to 0. Okay, yani sum of all the EMFs and potential drops along any closed path in an electrical network is always 0. Now, first of all, to understand what is a closed path. Okay, here in this electrical network, you can take closed paths like this. It is A, B, C, A. It can be A, C, D, A. It can be A, B, C, D, A. Now, closed path mean you can move either in clockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction. It is in your hand. It is your wish. Whether you want to move in a closed path in an anti-clockwise manner or a clockwise manner. So to apply voltage law, again we have some signs and conventions to be used. First sign and convention is when you are moving in a closed path and you are encountering a cell, its EMF will be taken as negative if you are going from positive to negative terminal of the cell through an electrolyte, and vice versa. Vice versa is if you are moving in a closed path and you have encountered a cell and you are moving from negative to positive terminal of the cell through electrolyte, then EMF of the cell will be taken as positive. Another important signs and conventions to be taken, the potential falls along the direction of current. So when you are moving in a particular manner, that is clockwise or anti-clockwise in a closed path, if you are moving in the direction of current through any resistance, then fall of potential will be taken as negative, and vice versa. That is, the potential falls along the direction of current in a current path, in a closed path, and it rises along the direction opposite to the current path. See how it will be used. You are traversing the loop ABCA in a clockwise manner, ABCA. You have encountered a cell E1 and you are moving from positive to negative terminal of the cell through electrolyte. So as per signs and convention, EMF will be taken as negative. Its EMF will be taken as negative. So minus of E1. Now, in an electrical network, current will be flowing. See the directions of current. This is cell E1. From the positive terminal of the cell, current I1 starts. At point A, the current I1 see another cell E2. From the positive terminal of the cell E2, current I2 starts. So current I2 is reaching at point A. Now current I1 is also reaching at point A and current I2 is also reaching at point A. Yani current coming towards the junction is I1 plus I2. Point A is the junction. The same amount of current will be leaving the junction. So this conducting wire or containing resistance R2, here it has the current I1 plus I2. Yani the current moving towards the junction will be equal to current moving away from the junction. That is, this resistance R2 will be having the current I1 plus I2. ठीक है, I1 plus I2 current is coming heading towards point C. At point C again, in the loop above, yani to the resistance R1 and in cell of EMF E1, current I1 goes here. Here again division of current takes place. Yani I1 plus I2 is divided again into I1 and I2. So I2 will be this side and I1 will be this side. Okay. Now consider the closed path A, B, C, A. You are moving in this closed path in clockwise manner. The cell which you have encountered, you are moving from its positive to negative terminal through electrolyte. Therefore, its EMF will be taken as negative. Now, you are moving clockwise, but direction of current I1 through this resistance R1 is opposite to the direction in which you are traversing in the loop. ठीक है, you are traversing in the loop like this, यानी clockwise, or current is opposite to the direction of your transverse in the loop. So when you are moving in a direction opposite to the current path, there is rise of potential. Rise of potential yani it will be taken with positive sign, plus I1 R1. So there will be potential drop across this resistance, and you know potential drop V1, it is equal to I1 R1. So when you are moving opposite to the direction of current in a closed path, there will be rise of potential across the resistance. So rise of potential when you are moving in a direction opposite to the current path, so it will be taken with positive sign. Now come to this resistance. Kyunki you are traversing in a clockwise manner, so you are traversing like this, okay, from C to A to B, B to C, C to A, and see the current I1 plus I2 through resistance R2. It is in a direction opposite to your direction of motion in the loop. So here again there will be rise of potential क्योंकि direction in which the loop is being traversed, the closed path is being traversed, is opposite to the direction of current in the closed loop through that resistance R2. So it will again be taken with positive sign. So if the direction is opposite to the current path, there is rise of potential, so it will be written as plus I1 plus I2 into R2. This is current and this is resistance R2, so this is potential drop across this resistance R2. R2 के across कितना potential drop होगा? As you know the formula, V equals to IR. The formula is V equals to IR. So current कितना है? That is I1 plus I2, और resistance कितनी है? That is R2. So potential drop across this resistance R2 will be I1 plus I2 into R2. So if your direction of motion in the loop is opposite to the direction of current through the resistance, so there is rise of potential through that resistance, so it will be taken with positive sign. So that is equal to 0. Now you can take another loop ACDA. See this loop ACDA. You are moving in a clockwise manner. Clockwise manner. So now see here. Your direction of motion in the loop A to C, C to D, D to A is same as the direction of current I1 plus I2 through resistance R2. So when the direction of current is same as that of your direction of traversing in the loop, there is fall of potential across the resistance. Fall of potential will be taken with negative sign. So it will be minus I1 plus I2 into R2. Minus I2 R3. Now you are moving from C to D. Direction of current I2 through resistance R3, and your direction of traversing the loop is same. So there is fall of potential across this resistance R3, which will be taken with negative sign, that is minus I2 R3. Now you have encountered a cell E2 and you are moving from negative to positive terminal of the cell through electrolyte. So EMF will be taken as positive. So plus E2, that is equal to 0. Now this Kirchhoff's voltage law, loop rule or second law, it is in accordance with law of conservation of energy, according to which energy is neither created nor destroyed. It can change its forms. Here EMF and potential across any resistance, what is it? EMF क्या है? That is work done in taking the charge through a complete circuit. That is energy. So in a loop, summation of energy is zero, यानी energy is not created. Work done कहीं से create नहीं हो गया. यानी अगर battery is there in the loop, which is doing the work, so that work is being utilized. That is the source of energy. Battery is the source of energy. If it is there in a loop, so that energy is being utilized to move the charge across the resistance. So as such, no energy is created or no energy is lost in a loop. So this second law, it is in accordance with law of conservation of energy. Next is Wheatstone bridge. This is a very important circuit. This Wheatstone bridge is used to measure unknown resistance with high accuracy. Unknown resistance with high accuracy. So you have a bridge shaped pattern with four resistances P, Q, R and S. Across these two terminals A and C, there is a battery, that is source, and between these two terminals B and D, there is galvanometer connected. When this bridge is balanced, when do we have balanced Wheatstone bridge? When there is no current flowing through this arm BD. Yani no current is flowing through this galvanometer. Then the bridge is said to be balanced. When no current will be flowing through this galvanometer? When the potential of point B will be same as potential at point D. Because until and unless there is potential difference between any 2 points, no current will be flowing in between those 2 points. So since B and D will be at the same potential and no current will be flowing through this galvanometer, we will say that this bridge is balanced. So we will be deriving this expression for balanced Wheatstone bridge. These resistances will be following this relation. P by Q is equal to R by S. So when the bridge is balanced, we can apply this condition P by Q is equal to R by S. Out of these four resistances, one of the resistance will be unknown. Rest three resistances are known to us. So with the help of this balanced Wheatstone bridge condition, you can find out unknown resistance with accuracy. This is an accurate method to find an unknown resistance because it is based on null method. Null method is the method in which the galvanometer here it is drawing no current. This Wheatstone bridge will be sensitive if all the resistances P, Q, R and S are of the same order. Sensitive bridge means if the galvanometer is showing deflection for small change in its unknown resistance, for a small fractional change in the unknown resistance, if the galvanometer is showing a deflection, then we will say the bridge is sensitive. To make the bridge sensitive, all the resistances are to be taken of the same order. This Wheatstone bridge is used to find out unknown resistance of smaller values, not for very large values. Because for the large resistances, the results will be non-linear. Non-linear, you can say, the output you will be obtaining in terms of potential differences, that will not be according to the current flowing through it. So let us derive this condition of balanced Wheatstone bridge, P by Q is equal to R by S. This is an important derivation from board point of view, CBSE board point of view. Now here, this is a Wheatstone bridge. Between the terminals A and Z, you have source, and between the terminals B and D, you have a galvanometer. So current I starts from this source reaching at point A. Here division of current takes place. I1 current flows through resistance P, and out of total current I, if I1 flows through P, so what is the current through AD? It will be I minus I1. Now when I1 current is reaching at point B, so there will be further division. Ig current goes through galvanometer. So out of I1, if Ig goes through galvanometer, so I1 minus Ig goes through resistance Q. Now at point D, current I minus I1 is coming, and from galvanometer current Ig is coming. Now current flowing towards the junction, that is I minus I1 and Ig. So same amount of current will be leaving the junction. So current leaving the junction will be I minus I1 plus Ig. So at point C, what is the current? What is the current coming towards the junction? I1 minus Ig. And from here, the current coming towards the junction, I minus I1 plus Ig. So total current leaving the junction from point C will be I. Because here it is minus I1, here it is plus I1 coming towards the junction, plus Ig and minus Ig. So from C, the current moving away from the junction will be I. So this is how the current is flowing in this bridge. Now, to get this balanced Wheatstone bridge condition, that is P by Q is equal to R by S, we will be considering two loops. First is A, B, D, A. A, B, D, A. You are moving clockwise in this loop. Now use Kirchhoff's second law, that is loop rule. And A से P you are moving, A to B. Yani your direction of motion in the loop and current I1, it is in the same direction. So there is fall of potential through resistance P. So it will be written like this, minus I1 into P. So galvanometer has resistance capital G. So our direction while traversing the loop is from B to D, and current is also in the same direction as our motion in the loop. So there will be fall of potential across this galvanometer resistance. Galvanometer resistance is capital G. So it will be minus IgG, fall of potential. Now here you are moving clockwise, that is A, B, D, A. You are moving from D to A in this loop. The current in this resistance R is I minus I1, which is opposite to the direction of traversing in the loop. So there will be rise of potential. So it will be written with plus I minus I1 into R. And as per Kirchhoff's loop rule, summation E plus summation IR in a closed loop, it is equal to 0. So this equation you will get. Similarly, in this loop, B, C, D, B, B, C, D, B. In this loop, you are moving in a clockwise manner. So in BC, the current is in the same direction as that of your traversal of the loop. So there will be fall of potential across resistance Q. So minus I1 minus Ig into Q plus, see here, you are moving from C to D in a loop and current is moving in opposite direction. So there will be rise of potential, that is written with plus sign, plus potential across this S, I minus I1 plus Ig into S. And you are moving from D to B, current Ig is from B to D, yani opposite. Again there will be rise of potential, that is plus Ig into G. So these are the two equations we have obtained through the two loops by applying Kirchhoff's second rule. Now bridge is said to be balanced when current through galvanometer is 0, yani Ig equals to 0. So in both the above equations, put Ig equals to 0. When you will be putting Ig equal to 0, this term will vanish. Here you will get, after putting Ig equals to 0, what you will be getting in the second equation, minus I1Q plus I minus I1 into S. Ig equals to 0, this term will cancel. Here, after putting Ig equals to 0, this term will cancel. Okay, now what you will obtain? I am writing here. So if this minus I1P taken on the other side, what you will get? I minus I1 into R, it is equal to I1P. From the second loop, what you will get? From the second loop, what you will get? I minus I1 into S, it is equal to I1Q. Okay. Now these two equations, when divided, I1 will be cancelled with this I1 and I minus I1 will be cancelled with this I minus I1. So finally you will obtain the condition for balanced Wheatstone bridge, that is P by Q is equal to R by S. This is balanced Wheatstone bridge. Now this is meter bridge. Meter bridge is a practical application of Wheatstone bridge to find out the unknown resistance. So this is the arrangement. This is a wire AB which is 100 centimeter long, made up of manganese constant ton, having a low temperature coefficient of resistivity. Here is resistance box connected in this gap. These are the copper connections. This is unknown resistance X. So from this terminal there is galvanometer connected, and the other end of the galvanometer, it is connected to a jockey which is to be slided over the wire of this meter bridge to get the null point. Now what happens? You have taken out some resistance from this resistance box that will be known to you. This is an unknown resistance. After inserting this key, you will start sliding the jockey over this meter bridge wire. At a particular point, at a particular length, say L centimeter, galvanometer gives null deflection. Here you will say this bridge is balanced, and you can apply the balanced Wheatstone bridge condition, that is R by X is equal to resistance of this wire L centimeter upon resistance of this wire 100 minus L centimeter. That is, they have written here R upon X is equal to resistance of this wire AJ upon resistance of wire this JB. This is in fact Wheatstone bridge only, having 4 resistances here in this situation. यहाँ पे one of the resistance is this, another resistance is this. So here you have galvanometer in between, and this AJ length of the wire is having some resistance, that is third resistance, and the resistance of this portion JB, that is the fourth resistance with you. So this is again a bridge situation, Wheatstone bridge, having 4 resistances. Now, if you are taking small k as resistance per centimeter of the wire, of this meter bridge wire, resistance per centimeter, then what will be the resistance of length L of the wire? It will be K into L. Yes or no? If unit length of the wire has resistance K, then resistance of length L of the wire, it will be K into L. Then what will be the resistance of the wire of length 100 minus L? It will be K into 100 minus L. यूनिट लेंथ की रेजिस्टेंस K है, L लेंथ की रेजिस्टेंस कितनी होगी? K इंटू एल. सिमिलरली 100 माइनस L लेंथ की रेजिस्टेंस कितनी होगी? K इंटू 100 माइनस L. Okay, so when we are applying balanced Wheatstone bridge condition, that is R by X is equal to resistance of this wire AJ. AJ की कितनी रेजिस्टेंस है? It is KL, क्योंकि यूनिट लेंथ की रेजिस्टेंस K है, L लेंथ की रेजिस्टेंस will be KL, so it is KL upon 100 minus L लेंथ की रेजिस्टेंस कितनी है? That is K into 100 minus L. K into 100 minus L. So K will be cancelled. So this ratio you will get in terms of lengths. L upon 100 minus L, which is, this length can be taken from the scale on which this wire is stretched. This wire AB is stretched over a wooden board having a scale on it. So from there this length L can be noted. These dots, circles, these all are screws. This is a source connected in between points A and B. So from here you will get R by X as equal to L upon 100 minus L. Therefore X can be known to you. You can find out this unknown resistance X in terms of R 100 minus L upon L. देखो R जो है that is taken from the resistance box. You can see what resistance value you are taking out. ठीक है जी, L can be known from the scale. So from all these values which are known to you, you can find out unknown resistance X. Let us do one numerical related to Kirchhoff's law. Using Kirchhoff's law in an electrical network, calculate the values of I1, I2 and I3. This is the electrical network shown to you. You are applying the Kirchhoff's law at junction B. B junction पे you can see यहाँ से 12 वोल्ट से करंट I1 is coming towards junction B. 6 वोल्ट सोर्स से करंट I2 is coming towards junction B. So applying first law at junction B, it can be current I1 plus I2 will be equal to I3. Now consider two loops A, B, E, F, A and consider B, C, D, E, B. You are applying Kirchhoff's second law in both the loops. You will get these two equations. हाँ जी अप्लाई करो जरा यहाँ पे. You are moving clockwise, ठीक है. A से B, B से E, E to F, F to A. B से E when you are moving, your direction of motion current same. Fall of potential and you can write here as minus 2I3. In different books, it is signs and conventions can be other way also, but result which you will be getting that will be same. So minus 2I3, which I have made you understand like this, you have to use. E to F, no resistance, no EMF. Here F to A you are moving, you are encountering a cell of EMF 12 volt. So negative से positive you are going through electrolyte. So it will be plus 12 volt. Then there is a resistance through which current I1 is passing. Your direction of motion current is same. So fall of potential कितना minus 5I1. Minus 5I1 it is equal to 0. Take 12 on this side only, rest can be taken on the other side. 2I3 plus 5I1. Same equation you have obtained. Similarly, you can apply Kirchhoff's second law in this loop. You will get this equation. Now you have two equations and three equations are there with you. First, second and third, and three unknowns are there with you. This you have done in class 10th mathematics. So three equations, three unknowns, you can easily find out. Solving it, you will get I1 as 48 by 31 ampere, I2 as 18 by 31 ampere, and I3 as 66 by 31 ampere. So this is how you will be using. Thank you so much.